Dye Oxide Techniques. In this video, we're going to go over a couple dye oxide techniques that are a lot of fun to use. First, we need to clean the metal. So here we're going to use the Sculpt Nouveau metal cleaner and a Scotch-Brite pad. And this is hot rolled steel, and I've already hit it with the grinder, so now I'm going in with the cleaner to get it all nice and clean, ready for a patina. Here we will be using the dioxides. I have white and blue-green dioxide already. And the important thing is we diluted these with distilled water. Now the distilled water allows us to dilute it and make it a lot thinner. And it sounds a little redundant, but the dioxides become so much more interesting when you start dilution. Remember that dioxides are a hot process, so we need to get the metal about 180 to 200 degrees. Here I'm going on with the black dioxide, and this is full strength. We could dilute it a little bit, but I wanted as dark black as I could get it with the dioxides, and so I just kept it full strength so I wouldn't have to do too many coats. But we're getting this coated completely black, and now we're going to go in with the white. And this white is pretty heavily diluted. It's about 40% dioxide white, and the rest distilled water. And so I'm going on, and you can see that the black kind of wants to come through, but that white is just so opaque, it's overpowering. But the more you put on, the whiter it is, and the less you put on, the more gray it will show through. And so that's the benefit of diluting, is that you can get these colors to play a lot on each other. The dioxides, in comparison to the universals, are more pastel-y and usually a little thinner in comparison. That being said, the white is still very opaque, and many of the other colors are very opaque. So that's where dilution is a huge factor. And it just takes distilled water. Now I very well could have kept the black dark finish from below that I wanted to play off of with the mill scale that was on it before I ground it. But it really wasn't a very even, it wasn't very dark mill scale. So I figured I might as well sand it off and start from scratch. So here we're going in with our diluted blue-green, and this is about a 50% ratio, so it's going to be a little bit more opaque, and that blue is going to really stand out nice against this white. Layering is a huge factor to get these looking really nice. But you can see we start off real light, and as we build up, we're going to put more and more coats on. I like using this brush. These are the Patina brushes that we sell on our website. They're fantastic to use for these hot processes. You can use them on a cold process, but I really don't very often. I really just use them for these hot processes. They last pretty long, and you can do some cool designs. Here I'm just kind of putting it down on it, but there's a lot of other designs and techniques. We have another video that highlights the dioxides utilizing the Tortoiseshell technique, and that's what these brushes do great as well. You essentially load the color on, you put it down while the metal's hot, and you let it sizzle out, and a ring is formed rather than just kind of a mottled finish like I'm doing here. I just wanted something that showed a little bit of character, so I'm not worried about trying to get those ringlets. It's not what I wanted for this. It's better for kind of more solid pieces, not something so airy here. So here, I'm coming back with a white dioxide again, and I've diluted it more. This is about a 10% white solution. You can wash your brushes with water, since dioxides are a water-based product, but from here, I just kind of put it in there. I wasn't worried about the white tinting a little hair of blue. Overall, it would have worked just fine, but here, it wasn't enough blue to really tint it. You can see a little bit in the container behind, but that white's coming through just fine. So we're continuing just to try and do that sponging, but I'm going to switch up the techniques a little bit here and there. You can see I'm testing how much droplets are coming off, and here I'm going to flick it. And I like this technique if you're looking for a really random pattern. The downfall is if you don't get that right over the piece, you can get tails that come with it. So you'll have round areas and then a tail trailing to it. So a few other ideas is that you can hit it on your hand, and I'll show that here in a second, or hit it on a bar, something to help it just go down rather than follow through. The follow through helps create that tail. So I hit it on my hand, and that creates that one. Now the other technique that we can use is kind of flick it, and toothbrushes actually work really well for this technique, this one here, where you just kind of flick it on, and that technique that usually leaves like littler dots, so that's kind of fun. But I wanted to do all three on here, get it really randomness on the white. Now we've got something that's really white. Now I've heated the metal, it's still 180 degrees, but I'm coming in with my touch-up gun with the blue dioxide solution in it, and I'm going real faint. Now with the combination of spraying it on and it being a hot process, this blue is showing up much slower, but I have a lot more control as well, so I can get that real faint blue on it. Now we've let this cool down to room temperature, and we're going to hit it with color lock. You can use any of our clear coats on this, that works just fine. The ClearGuard, Everclear, Smart Coat, Metal Wax, Metal Oil, they all work. I don't normally try to use the wax or the oils on the dioxides because the more you work with them physically, the more they will want to burnish off. But any of the spray clear coats would work great. Here we have our final piece. And remember, I used the blue, green, the white, and the black dioxide with the color lock on this. Dioxides and color lock are all available at www.sculptnouveau.com or by calling us at 760-432-8242.